Good morning, and what a great morning for Team Kentucky. Today, we continue to announce game-changing, state-changing economic development projects. Over the past 5 days, we will have announced 5 planned economic development projects that could bring thousands of jobs and potentially billions of dollars of new investment to the Commonwealth. These projects are possible because Kentucky was just approved for up to $961 million in federal grants from the Department of Energy. That's right, nearly $1 billion of grant funding over a 5-day period. I'm so proud to be here today with company leaders like Matt Bedingfield, president of the Business Unit Recycling for Velan North America, and local officials like Boyd County Judge Executive Eric Cheney, Judge Bobby Hall of Greenup County, Judge Myron Lewis of Elliott County, Lawrence County Judge Executive Philip Carter, and Judge Brandon Burton of Carter County. We are in our state capitol today to celebrate this huge news, these enormous grant awards that create the potential for all this investment and all of these jobs. Look, in Kentucky, we know that economic development is a team sport. So I am thankful to all of our local officials, our state representatives and senators, everyone who does the work to make this happen, including the companies that applied for these grants. And I'm proud of the support and the significant work that members of this administration put in lobbying to get these awards made and to move these projects forward. Today is just further proof that Kentucky is continuing our greatest economic development streak in our history. Kentucky is the talk of the nation. In 2022, we ranked number 2 in per capita economic development in the country. Last year, we were ranked number 3 in the country in per capita economic development. That's right, back-to-back years, number 2 and number 3. That is giving us the opportunity to be the first state called by so many companies across the country and across the world. It is an exciting time to be in Kentucky. You look at even our region. We've been number 1 in per capita economic development every year I've been governor. This year, even take out the per capita, and we were number 2 behind a state as large as Texas. But think about how we compare to others in the region. We had 53 more projects than number 3, Louisiana. And we had 65 more projects than number 4, Tennessee. So no more lamenting Tennessee or Nashville. Be proud you're in Kentucky right now with the economic development we're seeing. We also just announced that more Kentucky-made products were shipped around the world in 2023 than in any other year on record, as the Commonwealth broke its single-year record with $40.2 billion in exports. That's a 16.6% increase over the previous year. We've had the best year for tourism in history, the best year for bourbon in history. We've had the largest general fund budget surpluses, the largest rainy day fund. We've had some of the lowest unemployment rates in history, and we've lowered both the income tax and the property tax rate. It is a good time to be a Kentuckian, and today's announcements show we're going to continue to make sure this prosperity reaches every part of the state and reaches every single one of our families with no one left out. When you add it all up, over these last 4+ years before today's news, over 1,000 new location or expansion projects, $30.3 billion of new private sector investment in us. That is a record for any governor 4 or 8 years. So let's get to today's news that we have announced along with the Department of Energy for these great companies. First, Century Aluminum plans to potentially build the first primary aluminum smelter in the United States in 45 years and to build it in northeastern Kentucky. I believe this will be the first green aluminum smelter in the world, and they're planning on doing it right here. The smelter would be the largest investment on record in eastern Kentucky, we believe. It would bring 5,500 construction jobs and 1,000 permanent union jobs with strong wages. The project is supported by up to a $500 million grant from the Department of Energy. through their Industrial Demonstrations Program, a program that's funded by the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law and the Inflation Reduction Act. All the funding announced today, by the way, is thanks to these investments. So I want to thank DOE Secretary Jennifer Granholm. I want to thank President Joe Biden. I want to thank Deputy Secretary David Turk, along with so many other individuals who heard our plea and recognize what a game changer this is and how important it is to this region that's lost coal and steel jobs over the decades. Upon completion, the smelter would double the size of the current U.S. primary aluminum industry while avoiding an estimated 75% of emissions from a traditional smelter due to its state-of-the-art energy-efficient design and use of carbon-free energy. The aluminum produced from this facility will support national defense, electric vehicles, semiconductors, building and construction, and green energy applications. So thank you to Century Aluminum President and CEO Jesse Gary, who could not be here today. And I want to make sure we say there's still a lot of steps that we need to take to make this a reality. But this is the first important step. Now, there'd have to be a final choice on location. You have to get the energy prices right. We'll need an incentive package, but the first $500 million towards the construction of this type of facility is something worth celebrating. And I know all the judges up here with me, along with all the representatives and senators from the district, we are committed to getting it done. So I want to thank those in DC that made this happen. And I'm pretty excited today because there were literally dozens of trips where we made these requests from the president to anybody else who would listen. This announcement is another step in our continued longstanding relationship, and we look forward to Century being a part of growing commerce in Eastern Kentucky. Century Aluminum President Jesse Gary said Northeast Kentucky has been at the top of our list for potential sites. And while we're continuing to evaluate multiple locations, this announcement is another step in our continued longstanding relationship with the state, and we look forward to the opportunity to be a part of growing commerce in Eastern Kentucky, an outcome that's very attractive to Century Aluminum. I'm going to turn it over to our county judges in the area who have worked so hard to make a day like this possible. And while we all recognize that it's not a done deal and there is more work to come, a $500 million grant, if it is built in this region, is a pretty good place to start. So,
Governor, thank you. Appreciate it very much. On behalf of the 5 judge executives, 4 that are standing behind me, I'm Bobby Hull, Greenup County Judge Executive. This is the Judge Executive, Philip Carter from Lawrence County, Eric Cheney, Boyd County, Brandon Burton, Carter County, and Myron Lewis from Elliott County. We want to thank the governor. We want to thank his administration. We want to thank Mr. Logan back there, who's kept us informed throughout many, many months. And we also want to reach out and thank the United States, the DOE, the Department of Energy. Thank you all.
I just want to say what an incredible opportunity. You know, Eastern Kentucky, Northeast Kentucky especially, has been through the ringer. And to have this opportunity is just truly incredible. We're on the rise. And we've got a great team in Eastern Kentucky, all 5 county judges here, the governor, Rocky. You know, we all have each other's back, and teamwork's what's going to make it happen. So I just want to say thank you for this opportunity, and this is a great day.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Governor.
We were able, once the embargo lifted, to reach out not long ago to state representatives and senators. One of them said, what do you need from us to help finalize this? And what I was able to say is this current budget, with its closing fund, will likely be the tools that we need. And so I was able to thank that individual for getting it in the last budget, but it's been a real help for economic development. So thank you to the General Assembly. Next, Velan North American Recycling intends to expand its U.S. recycling capacity and capabilities through significant investments into advanced state-of-the-art copper scrap metal processing technology in Shelbyville. The project would be the largest investment in Shelbyville history and would be expected to create as many as 200 permanent jobs. It's supported by up to $270 million in DOE Industrial Demonstrations Program funding. Upon completion, the project would enable the recycling of diverse mix of copper scrap and other metals, allowing us to reintroduce valuable materials used in EVs and semiconductors. Veland prioritizes filling these positions locally, as we've seen. Remember, it was 2021 when Veland announced it was moving its North American headquarters to Kentucky, and it's already filled more than 40 positions with the desire to fill more. It's pretty exciting when a company like this chooses us for their North American headquarters and then sees us as the right potential site to grow its business in such an exciting way. They also have partnerships with Kentucky State University, Simmons College of Kentucky, and other interested educational institutions. So today we have Matt Bedingfield, president of the business unit recycling from Veland, North America. He's been a great addition to Kentucky. 10 years in, we're excited to have him and his family. Thank you for spearheading this great potential project.
Thank you, Governor. Appreciate the introduction. We at Veland are extremely excited to be selected for the award negotiation process and are looking forward to taking the next steps. As a 200-year-old company, we pride ourselves on sustainability, and our sustainability goals are very well aligned with both the Department of Energy and Kentucky. Specifically, keeping copper scrap domestic, taking that copper scrap and upgrading it to high purity copper to be used in advanced manufacturing products here in the country, such as electric vehicles, semiconductors, etc. And lastly, creating high quality jobs in the local communities where we are. So we're extremely excited. The governor mentioned all the trips they took to Washington to support us. That's why we're here. So I'd like to thank the governor, his administration, Judge Executive Dan Eisen, and all the locals in Shelbyville for all the work they've done in making Kentucky an environment where we're encouraged to grow our businesses. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We both had nice choices of suits today. Thank you to Matt and everybody from Veland. What an amazing company. What an important part of our metals industry here in Kentucky. Third, we have Diageo America's Supply planning to fund a project that aims to install heat batteries for deep decarbonization of the Bullitt facility in Shelbyville, which could bring construction jobs and community benefits to Kentucky. The project would create approximately 144 construction jobs across 2 locations. Diageo plans to partner with Rondo Energy and the National Renewable Energy Laboratory to install heat batteries powered by renewable energy to provide low-cost, zero-carbon heat and power for industrial heating processes at the facilities in Shelbyville. Along with another project, they will be supported with up to $75 million in grants from the Department of Energy. Finally, we have ISP Chemicals, which is an Ashland company. What formerly used to be an Ashland Inc. company. This facility is in Calvert City. They've applied to build a chemical production, electrification, and heat storage project at that facility. The total project investment is approximately $70 million. The chemical production, electrification, and heat storage project, led by ISP Chemicals, Tennessee Valley Authority, and Electrified Thermal Solutions, is engaging with DOE to look at a project to replace natural gas boilers with electric heat delivered with a thermal battery, reducing greenhouse gas emissions associated with steam generation by nearly 70% at the Calvert City Chemical Plant. Ashland workers are unionized under the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, which would have significant role in workforce development. Ashland met with IAM leadership at the local and national levels to discuss workforce development needs and partnerships that would be required to support thermal battery skills development and a specialized training program. Ashland and project partner University of Kentucky both serve on the Calvert City Community Advisory Team, with Ashland participating for about 30 years. All of this adds to the announcement we made on Thursday, with Rye Development planning to build a first-of-its-kind $1.3 billion coal-to-pump storage hydropower facility in Bell County, creating 1,500 high-paying construction jobs and 30 permanent operation jobs. So while today's plans are exciting, We know we still have a lot of work to do, but certainly these grants and us winning these grants, which is a competitive program that people around the country applied for, bid on, lobbied for almost $1 billion to come back to Kentucky is really exciting. And when you look at where these projects are, this potential game changer, state changing project in Northeast Kentucky, this expansion in Shelbyville, it truly shows that we are committed to bringing prosperity to every corner of the Commonwealth, especially parts that have been too often left out. So I know everyone is excited to now do the work, to finalize these projects, to have that announcement that the package is fully put together and signed off on, to have that groundbreaking. But what we really want to get to is that eventual ribbon cutting when the jobs are here and lives and regions. So remember, life's short. Our job is to be kind to each other and to do good things. And I think that's exactly what we're doing for the people of Kentucky today. With that, we'll open it up to questions. And I think we have one potential questioner.
Okay.
That's you?
Yeah, okay. Governor, can I ask on a different topic?
Sure.
Have you gotten any word from the General Assembly yet on when they may wrap up work on the budget? And are they going to give you an advance look at it before they vote on it?
We have heard that negotiations are ongoing. Right now, don't have any ETA on it and need to keep those budget conversations between us and leadership. Certainly, I want to thank both the House leadership for originally sitting down with us and making some pretty significant changes to their budget before sending it to the Senate. And then the Senate has sat down with us numerous times, called with any ways that we can help. And while I very much want to see teacher raises in any final budget, and it'll be hard to have a good final budget without them, I do appreciate the level of communication we've received, especially from Senate leadership. All right. Thank you all very much. It's a good way to start a new week in Kentucky.